welcome to another episode of the Javelinas Coaches Show. It's been a few weeks since the last time you saw us, but appreciate you tuning in to another week with another lineup of Javelinas coaches, including our first guest, head Javelina Beach and Indoor coach Tanya Allen. Coach, good to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
You guys just completed something pretty special. Your first ever undefeated season in indoor. You guys beat St. Mary's to get to 12-0. Completed that on Saturday. When you were putting this team together, and as you guys were going through the extended preparations for the start of this spring season, was there one moment where you looked at this team and thought this squad has a chance to be something pretty special?
Oh yeah, definitely. When we kind of started practicing consistently, and we had them in the gym, you know, when everyone was healthy and we were really practicing hard, you could tell that we had a lot of potential. We have a lot of young, new kids to the lineup and to the team in general. So it was really a question of how fast they were going to learn and improve. And then it was a matter of, were the older kids going to step up and be leaders? And you know, obviously we had some speed bumps along the way, but I really feel like they're developing quickly and they're all really eager to learn.
We talked about this a little bit last week. You mentioned, well, we talked about how much chemistry there is, how well this team has gotten along, and how that's helped their progress as the years gone on. What do you attribute the chemistry this team has had this year?
It takes hard work. I mean, it doesn't just happen. I think that's one of the hardest things about college sports is, you know, you come from an environment in high school where they all feel like sisters and family and they know each other for life, and you meet, there's brand new people on the team that you haven't known. There's different ages, you know, an 18-year-old and a 22-year-old are at different points in their life. It takes a lot of work, and I think the biggest thing is they have to understand that family, you know, when you call your teammates family, it means something different than blood. You have to work. I mean, it's a choice to be family. It's a choice how close we want to be. It's a choice to give mutual respect. And so they have to work at it, and they've done a great job with that.
Obviously, well, Saturday St. Mary's made things tough on you guys. They took the first set before you guys won the last three. Well, what was your message to your team after Saturday's win?
We've got to keep getting better. That's always my message. I'm so proud of the wins, and I'm so glad that they've been able to accomplish that so far. But of course, we're looking forward, and it's only going to get tougher from here on out, and we're not done. So we have to keep getting better, and we have to keep pushing. You
talked about on Saturday, you said that you felt like Kaylee and Ayana had both had outstanding matches from the middle. I think they both hit over 400. Mm-hmm. They've been really consistently solid presence. I shouldn't say solid. Really consistently excellent presences for you guys in the middle this season. How much has their success and the things they've done well helped you guys succeed this year?
100%. Our offense is inside out. That's what we call it. It's an inside out offense, and it starts with our middles. If they're not scoring, if they're not really drawing attention from the blockers and the defense, we're not going to be successful. So, you know, it's a combination of things. Their success, obviously, they're very good, and both are really improving. They're both receptive to coaching and are improving quickly. Emily Whitt leads the charge there. I mean, she is able to deliver a good ball, and then our passing. I mean, if we can't pass the ball, we can't set our middles, you know, and there have been games where we really struggle with serve receive and we can't get the ball to our middles, and it really hurts our offense. So it's definitely a combination. Everything kind of has to be going right in order for us to get our middles kills, and so that's why I say when Ayana and Kaylee are getting kills in the middle, we're pretty good.
Kelsey Lukenbock's really taken on an expanded role in this team over the course of the last week. She leads the team in kills over your last handful of matches. What was it that gave you confidence when she stepped into this expanded role that she'd be able to handle it and be successful?
Kelsey has a great character. You know, she has a very good arm, very fast arm, and she's learning how to control it, learning how to use it. But in general, she just has a great character. She's a good teammate. She's a good coachable athlete, and you just know that whatever you ask her to do, she's going to do it. She's going to run through a wall for you, and those are the best kind of kids. You can put a lot of trust in them.
Now we're taping this on a Tuesday, which normally means you'd be getting ready for a game in a match here in 6 or 7 hours. But Tuesday and Wednesday you guys have off. Next week you'll have the LSC tournament, and you guys aren't even sure. You guys don't even know who you're going to be playing once the first round of the tournament arrives. So how do you approach a week like this? When there are some uncertainties and you guys have a little extra time between matches, do you approach this any differently than a normal game week?
Not necessarily. I mean, we're still kind of, a sense of urgency has to be there. We've still got to make sure we're pushing in practice, but honestly, the rest is good for them. I'm so thankful that we don't have any makeup games this week. We were able to schedule them earlier so that they can actually rest, particularly the dual kids, because their schedule regimen has been pretty tough lately, and so a week off where you can just kind of focus on beach a little bit more, and not be traveling quite so much, and just kind of get your legs underneath you, it will be great for us coming next week. And as far as the opponents, we'll make sure they're prepared. But honestly, I feel like what we're doing on our side of the net is far more important than what we're going to see on the other side of the net.
Now, those dual kids will be busy starting in Fort Worth this week. You guys have 3 tough matches in beach volleyball this week. How do you plan on trying to prepare your team for what they have coming this week? For
beach, yeah. One of the biggest things with beach is our setting. If we can't set the ball consistently, our hitters have a harder time scoring. And in beach, the side out percentage has got to be much higher than indoor. Your kill percentage has to be pretty high. Well, it's difficult to get kills if your sets are not where they need to be. So, our first and second contacts are key for us right now. It's tough because here we always have wind. Always. I mean, you never have anything less than 12 miles an hour at least, and then we'll go other places and there's none, so the good news is we're used to wind. The bad news is I feel like we haven't actually had a lot of days where we're not in the wind, so it's made it difficult, but they're getting better.
All right, well, Coach, best of luck both on the sand and on the hardwood over the course of the next coming week, and we're excited to have you here for the start of the LNC tournament in about a week from now. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
We'll take our first break here on the Javelinas Coaches Show. We will be back in a moment. Welcome back to the Javelinas Coaches Show, and I'm pleased to be joined by our second guest today, and that's our head tennis coach, Autumn Wollenzien. Coach Wollenzien, appreciate you making some time out today.
Thanks for having me.
This is just about the time for the start of the conference schedule for you and your team. You'll begin against Angelo State this weekend. Now, your non-conference schedule, that's been underway for a minute, but this will be the start of your LSC slate. How well do you feel like your non-conference schedule has prepared you guys for the start of what's going to be a busy LSC season?
Oh, I think it prepared us perfectly well. We played some very tough teams, and which gave us a bit of experience that we needed. So I think that with that under our belt, I think going into conference play, we should do pretty well.
You mentioned last time we talked was during the coaches caravan. We talked about how you had a 5-2 team when last season ended, and you were happy with the way they were playing. How well do you feel like this team has succeeded as far as trying to match the level of play so far compared to what you saw last season?
Well, I don't like comparing, especially last year's team to this year's team, because we basically have a new team. We have 2 returners from last year and 5 freshmen. So it makes it a little bit hard to compare last year's team to this year's team. They stand alone. Like I said, gaining any kind of experience for this team is a good thing. So I think that going into conference play and with the team that we have currently, I think we should fight very well. Okay,
in that case, one of the things you talked about in the caravan, you mentioned one of the things you look for as far as recruiting is personality. Mm-hmm. What is the personality of this year's team?
Everybody's different. Everyone has shown their personality in their own way, in their own time. It took a little bit about a semester to open up, just I think mainly because of COVID and not being able to do some things that we normally do in the fall to get people to open up. But this semester, I think they had to grow up pretty fast, and we're still growing up pretty fast. I feel like this team's personality is they're a group of fighters. They're quiet fighters. They're still trying to figure out, how to use their voices and how to make that impression on the court and use their presence on the court and things like that. So it's been fun. It's been a learning experience for myself and for them. Which makes everything brand new. So, it's kind of like me learning how to coach all over again, too. So,
how much have you seen this team grow and progress in those areas every day at practice?
Oh, huge. Just from doubles alone, they come in mainly hardly ever playing doubles to now, they've kind of they've gained I want to say more than basic, more than fundamental knowledge, and being able to directly take what they've learned in practice and put it in play on the court. I've seen some success. We still have some areas to grow in and some areas to learn in, but again, any experience is good experience. So I'm proud of the way they've played so far, and the ceiling is high, and so we just are reaching as high as we can.
Now, my next question is kind of an off the beaten path question. So I'm not a native Texan. I know you aren't either.
No.
And you mentioned the challenges that everything that's been going on in the world has presented for you guys from a tennis perspective. Now, just speaking for me, this whole pandemic has been nerve-wracking simply because when you have relatives, most of your family's not not within driving distance, not within a day. It's nerve-wracking being away from family members in the midst of this. But that's just, even as someone who has family members in the same country. For you, so many of your student athletes are international, so their family is a pretty long plane ride away. How have you tried to help your student athletes deal with that separation, deal with being so far away from family and friends in the normal environment in the midst of everything that's been going on?
Lots of conversation. Lots of conversation about, homesick is okay. It's not a weakness. Everybody goes through it. I still go through it, even though I'm married and have family, from my husband's family being here, I still go through homesickness. And letting them know that it's okay to have those emotions and those feelings. And to be able to talk about it, and to be able to talk to their family at home, on a daily basis, to be able to understand that they're mostly going through the same things as far as homesickness, as far as learning a new culture. So they actually grow in the sense of they're all relating to each other. The conversations help, and not holding it in or hiding from it, and taking that energy and doing something with it. I think as a team, as a small team, we grow close very quickly. No one can really hide from each other, which I think is a good thing, because I feel like it should provide more support to each other, and using me as a resource. This is my 10th year coaching. I've had internationals on every team I've coached, and understanding that I know that it's not just you, and it's not just, you're not the first person to experience these things. You're not the first person to have to learn how to make friends again. You're not the first person to learn how to call somebody for a ride or to the airport or any place. So, using those around you as a resource, opening up and creating a family that you have here. Javelina Nation, hopefully we'll have fans soon at tennis matches, but feeling the love from the community and the university and other students at the university also helps as well, not just on court but off court, and making them feel relaxed and comfortable in this environment. It all kind of adds to them being able to play well on the court and play for me.
How much do you feel like having these student athletes who are going through so many of the same things together, how much do you feel like that helps your team become closer and become a family like you spoke about?
A lot. I think, like I said, to be able to know that the girl next to you is going through the exact same thing, maybe not in the same way, but, because everyone's different. Everybody handles things differently. However, to know that she's homesick, or to know that she had to find a new friend, or being the only person in the room who doesn't speak clear English. It all helps. It all, to be able to give a glance to your teammate, so that she knows I know what you're going through as well, and I'm here for you. The first trip we took, and the only trip we took last semester, was to Angelo, and we took a charter bus. There was 8 of us on a bus for 50, and everybody was spread out, and it's different. It's not, there's not enough people to fill the space, so even that felt like we were far apart. And this semester we've been allowed to take vans, and even just going from that to the van makes it feel like a closer team, and it causes more conversation just outside of being in the dorm or being on the tennis court or being in the classroom. You know, having a funny conversation with me or with my assistant and things like that away from the tennis court, and helps for them to feel comfortable and at home. So I try to do as much as possible, and it really does make a difference as far as, you know, how well we play together, even though it's an individual sport.
What are the things you'd like to see from your team on the court this weekend?
I'd like to see them go out there and know that they belong on the court, play like they belong on the court. I'd like to see them go out there and be loud and fight fight for each other. I'd like to see them go out there and not give up on themselves, you know, and if they feel like giving up on themselves, then most definitely give it to somebody else, and fight for the girl next to you. If you don't want to fight for yourself, fight for the girl next to you. So, and grow in that way. I'd like to see a win, obviously, and I think it's absolutely possible, especially if we do the things that we know how to do, and take care of the things that we know how to take care of, and fight like now we know how to fight.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you stopping by. Best of luck this week. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
We'll take one more break. We'll be right back in just a moment on the Javelinas Coaches Show. Don't go away. Back on the Javelinas Coaches Show, and we're joined by our third and final guest today, and that's the head of Javelina track and field and cross country coach, Ryan Dall. Coach Dall, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you just got back from Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken, from the indoor NCAA National Championships, where you had a couple athletes competing, including Jonathan Harper, who's just 1 week removed from being named LSC Male Athlete, Indoor Track and Field Athlete of the Year, and who was named an All-American along with Ayman Zahafi at Indoor Nationals. What were your takeaways? What did you like about what you saw? How proud are you? Might be a better way to ask. How proud are you of what you saw from your athletes, Ayman and John, both being named All-Americans?
I'm very proud of both of them. It was a difficult indoor season. We really only had a few meets. Ayman really just had 1 meet, our conference meet, and qualified for nationals there. And then nationals was his second race of the season. So, you know, and then John only had 2 heptathlons, you know, and 2 meets total leading up to the national meet. So, you know, it was tough, you know, for them to really. I didn't feel like they were really in their normal rhythm, you know, of a season, especially getting to the national meet. You know, normally we'd have 4 or 5 meets under their belt. Consistent practice. We had the freeze, you know, like 2 weeks before that we couldn't practice for a whole week. Just a lot of difficulties that you know, these guys had to fight through to be able to do the things they did, and for them to do as well as they did, you know, is just a testament to them, and you know, what great athletes, and how mentally tough they are.
How did you and your staff try to make sure they were ready to go for nationals, despite the lost time and the lack of maybe a normal indoor season, a normal indoor schedule?
I just think it's, you know, you got to just try to stay positive. You know, all these things are really so out of our control, and so there's really no point to dwelling on them, or, you know, feeling bad about them, or letting that affect how you're going to do, how your mindset's going to be when you get to the meet, you know. So we just try to stress, you know, just doing the best you can, you know, on that day, and you know, not dwelling on the things that kind of led up to it, especially the negatives. So, you know, I just try to stay positive. I try to be positive with them, and focus on the things that are going well, and the things that they are doing well. And so I think that's really all you can do, you know, is just try to put them in a mindset and a position to where they can be as successful as they possibly can be, you know.
I think you had, correct me if I'm wrong, you had 17 athletes make all conference at the LSC meet about a week ago. Even with the the challenges that were presented with you guys this indoor season, how would you assess the way your team performed as a whole?
I was really proud of what they did, especially the men. We went to conference, and that was our second meet of the season. And, for us to be third and really only a handful of points out of second place was a great performance for them, in my opinion. And we were missing a couple of guys even that probably could have scored some more for us and things like that. So, for us to be that close to second place in our conference, and probably one of the toughest, if not the toughest conference for track in the country, was great. I told those guys that that was a great meet for us and a great team effort. And for the women, I think we're just young. We really only have a couple seniors on the team, and so it was good for them to get experience. Some of them hadn't competed indoors before in their life. Some of the freshmen, and so it was a good experience for them to get through a conference meet to see what it's like, so that leading toward outdoor, when we get to the outdoor meet, they'll be experienced. They'll know what to expect. They'll know the other competitors in the conference, and hopefully we can do a little bit better.
I think you had the top two athletes in the heptathlon at the LSC meet, and Jonathan Harper and Dina Wallace. I mentioned Harper was named the conference's outstanding male athlete. How much fun has it been to coach your multi-athletes?
Well, those guys are a lot of fun to coach. They're great guys, just great people to begin with. And so it makes my job a lot easier to have those guys out there. And it's not. You definitely feel thankful when you get guys like that are coachable, that want to be good, that want to work hard. It's not always that way, and so I always appreciate having athletes like that. And then on top of it, the fact that they're really good makes it a lot of fun. It's fun for me to watch them succeed. Because they deserve it. They work hard, and they're out there every day for hours and hours at a time. They got 10 events they need to train for. I mean, it's a lot on their part, and they do it. They never complain. They do whatever we ask them to do. And they're special guys, and I'm happy that they're here and on our team instead of competing against us.
Now, you and your students don't get much time to rest before outdoor season kicks into high gear. You guys will start off in Abilene, then you have the Texas relays in about a couple weeks. What are your expectations? What are the things you guys need to do in the beginning of this indoor season to try and make sure that everyone's hitting their stride when we get to conference and nationals?
We just got to get into a rhythm. I think outdoors is going to be better. I think we'll have a meet every week, something that we haven't been able to do so far. So just competing and getting into that rhythm, getting competition ready, getting competition reps, because practice is great, and you could do a lot of things, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. I don't think it's the same in any sport. So, you got to be competition ready. You got to be sharp. The only way to get those things and to be better at those things is to actually compete, and so we were really lacking that indoor. Plus the meets we did go to indoor, we had to travel, 15 hours to Kansas, almost 10 hours to Lubbock. It was very draining, I think, travel schedule. So outdoors is a little bit easier on the travel. And we can hit it every week and get those guys the competition reps that they need to really be sharp when we get to the end of the season. And I really think that's what hurt John the most at indoor nationals, was just not having the competition reps leading into that meet. And so we just had little inconsistencies here and there. And in that event, 5 points here, 5 points there, and then you lose by 30 points or whatever it was that he lost by. So, that's going to be the biggest thing, is just getting those competition reps for everybody.
How high are your expectations for what this outdoor team can accomplish?
It's hard to say. Hopefully, again, just, be in the top few teams here in the conference championship, and our women's team hopefully move up a few spots and get more people to the national meet. Try to finish higher at the national meet as a team, and just get more people that national meet kind of experience. But both our teams are fairly young. Both teams are only graduating a couple of people, so I feel like this year we're really just kind of building toward maybe a bigger year next year with some of the young men and women that we have. But at the same time, we always have high expectations. Our goals are always high. Our athletes' goals are always high. So, hopefully get some conference champions, maybe qualify a relay or two to nationals and get more people there. And just maybe get some of our throwers to qualify for nationals as well. Will be nice to get some more bodies up at that meet. It's always fun to be watching a bunch of people, lots of events at nationals, and have people in those. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to, this year it's really hard to put a finger on how good things are, because we just really still haven't had that many meets. And but I do feel like we're a better outdoor team than indoor, so hopefully we can definitely use that and do a little bit better.
Well, Coach, we look forward to talking about that as we get the indoor season started. We appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Mark. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Javelinas Coaches Show. And thanks to our other guests, Tanya Allen and Autumn Wollenzien. We'll be back next week. But my name is Mark and Sarah, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you back here again on the Javelinas Coaches Show.